What's up, guys? Welcome back to Project Unbroken. My name is Matt, and this is Monday Motivation. Today, we are talking about passion and how it is the kryptonite to addiction. So, we were talking about self-sabotage in Saturday's video, and in the comment section after that video, there were some people saying, "Listen, I'm using these tools. I'll be sober for a couple weeks or a couple months, and I'll feel these thoughts coming, whether they're negative thoughts or thoughts about using or rationalizing using or having a drink. That negative voice in your head." They said, as much as I use these tools, it just becomes overpowering after a certain amount of time. And that's absolutely true. And there's only so much meditation and mindfulness practices and breathing techniques that you can do before the voice just gets too loud. And you know this voice. It's the one that says, you've been sober for 5 months. You can have a drink. You clearly can control this thing. Or whatever it is. It's that voice that's telling you to do what you clearly know is not going to be in your best interest. So, passion is what murders that. And here's why. When you find something that you're passionate about, it overwhelms everything else. And that blank space in your mind where you're sober for a couple months and those thoughts come creeping in, having something that you're passionate about it will block them immediately. Now, of course, finding your passion isn't always the easiest thing, and I think sometimes we can make it more overwhelming than it needs to be because there's it's put on such a pedestal. And I think there's a couple things that you can do to find things that you are passionate about that will help you shut that voice off completely and will help you, ride that train for whatever you're passionate about, just away from any risk of relapse. And this has been huge for me. I've had several instances in my life that I've fallen into things that I've been passionate about, and they've carried me a long way. In my journey of sobriety, they have helped me tremendously. These things, the first one was cooking. After I finally had to get sober and quit heroin and kind of got through my tapering process with Suboxone, I realized that if I had to live without these chemicals that were basically my only coping mechanism at the time, I needed to be doing something on a day-to-day basis that I was really enjoying doing. Now, at the time, I was working at a mushroom farm, which I know probably sounds crazy to a lot of you, but there's a lot of them around here. It was good money. It was easy at the time, and it was just kind of mindless work, which is great when you're addicted to heroin. But moving forward, living a sober lifestyle, I was like, I need to be happy. I need to be doing something that makes me happy. I always loved cooking. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to culinary school, see if I can find, a path through this thing that I really enjoy. And it was a great move. It completely, enveloped my entire life. It's all I thought about. It's all I did. It's what, I woke up thinking about it. I cooked all day, or was learning about cooking all day. Went to bed thinking about cooking. It just blocked everything else out. Any thoughts of addiction or relapse or being, you get bored and you're like, maybe I should have a drink. All that stuff kind of went away. Now, I will say the restaurant industry is not the best place to be if you're recently into recovery. At least it wasn't for me. So I did great through school. But when I got out, got a job at a restaurant, relapsed, quickly caught myself, and kind of had to change directions, but whatever. Like, maybe you'd be fine with it, but I wouldn't recommend it. Anyways, the next passion that I found during this whole process was fitness. That same thing. As I was dealing with this most recent relapse at the time, found fitness, fell in love with it, realized that me relapsing or falling back into that lifestyle would really deter my progress in this new passion of health and fitness. And again, didn't think about it. I was smoking cigarettes at the time, which was, not a big deal, but obviously highly addictive. easily quit the cigarettes, was, tapered off Suboxone, and I was just good for, I ended up, getting all these certifications, working out every day, felt great, really fell in love with it, and opened up a business, a gym, ran that for almost 10 years, and I just sold that earlier this year, 2020, and now I'm looking for things that I'm passionate about again. And to be honest, it's a big reason that I've been making more of these videos. I really love talking about this stuff. I really enjoy making these videos, and now they're podcasts, and it's just fun for me to get feedback. And, I learn from you guys. I feel like that you guys are a part of this conversation, and it's just been really something that I love and enjoy. Also, pizza. As crazy as it sounds, well, I love pizza, so that's not crazy. I think most people do. But I started making pizzas in my home oven. Then I bought this crazy oven that gets up to like 1,000 degrees. It's called a rock box. You can make legit Neapolitan-style pizzas. Started creating all these different dough recipes and experimenting with different recipes and making different pizzas. Now I'm making my own sourdough starter to use as a yeast, whatever. You fall down these rabbit holes, and they take up so much space in your mind that you don't have time to, wallow in your self-pity or think about like, I'm lonely or I'm bored. Maybe I should go have a drink. Maybe I should go get a bag. You just won't have the time for it. Now, again, when you're looking to kind of find something that you're passionate about, what do? And I think this requires a few things. One, you're going to have to be able to get out of your comfort zone. You have to say yes to things that you probably don't feel 100% confident about saying yes to, but anything that you're going to be passionate about, you are going to suck at it first. I sucked at, fitness when I got into it. I sucked at cooking when I got into it. And even after going to culinary school, I sucked at making pizzas when I started this whole last, journey into something that I'm passionate about. But you learn and you get better, and that is a huge part of that whole process. You're thinking like, how can I get better at this? What can I do next time? And it really takes up so much of your mental space that could otherwise be used for, negative self-talk or rationalizing, having a drink or relapsing or whatever it is. It just takes up that space, so there's no room for thoughts of screwing up all your progress or screwing up, the path of something that you're really excited about. And this doesn't have to be about money. Like, I don't ever plan on making a cent with selling pizzas, for instance, but I love making them for my family and friends, and I love making them just for myself and experimenting and, seeing how I can make a better pizza next time. For the videos, I know that I ramble. I know that I can probably jump all over the place. Not probably, I definitely do. But it's something that I'm aware of, and I try to improve, and I try to get my thoughts set in a more kind of linear path so this information makes sense to you guys, and you're not like, why is he fucking talking about pizza and exercise, and where's he going with all of this? So even for me, this stuff, essentially, I'm trying to get better at it. And it helps take up the space in my mind where, if I, feel like that I should go have a drink or whatever, I'm like, no, you know what? Your next video is going to be shitty if you go drink. Like, what are you going to talk about then? Or your next pizza is going to be all fucked up if you're boozing and trying to, get this recipe right. So you have to, just say yes to things, try things. I know right now with COVID, a lot of shit's shut down. We've talked in the past about, taking an art class or a cooking class or going to a yoga studio or jiu-jitsu or CrossFit, whatever it is. I know you can't do a lot of that stuff now, but there are a lot of online communities that are really being proactive with getting this kind of stuff out there. You're not alone. I mean, everybody that's going through this stuff right now, it's been amplified because we're secluded, we are isolated, we're not able to get out like we typically are and try new things. But It might be easier this way to, try something with a screen in front of you. You can say yes to more things and, see what your level of comfort is there. Also, don't try to force anything. Something that you might be passionate about, it's going to attract you in a very unique way. You're going to, if you're bad at it, like if you're bad at something, typically you're like, fuck that, I'm not doing it again. Things that have the potential to turn into a passion will kind of draw you back into the web a little bit. You'll say like, damn it, I wonder if I could do better with this next time. If you find something and it's frustrating and you have no interest in it at all and you don't kind of feel a little bit of curiosity to see if you could get better, I wouldn't stick with it. I've said yes to a million things that just didn't scratch that itch for me, and I don't hang on to them. I don't think it's a big deal. I tried painting, I tried drawing and more kind of artistic stuff like that. I just don't feel the need to keep working on it. And that's okay, but that might be what is your thing. It's all unique. I mean, chances are for you it might not be pizza, all right? You can always get delivery, but it is nice being able to make your own pizza whenever you want, I will say. But I'm going to leave it there, guys, for Monday Motivation. Get out there, say yes to more shit, try new things, get uncomfortable. Find something that is going to take up that mental space where if you feel like, you're making some progress with your sobriety and you get down the road and you start to have these negative thoughts creep back in, you need something to fill those fucking thoughts. I don't care if anybody says like, oh, you're replacing an addiction with another addiction. Fuck that. Making pottery is way healthier than fucking heroin or crack or whatever the fucking drug is that your mind's trying to rationalize you into doing, or having a drink, or whatever it may be. Go find that thing that makes you happy, all right? And fucking run with it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Again, subscribe, like, leave us a rating, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.